Now it is time to take long strides.
Before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
The Eagle has landed. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. 1201, rocket 1201 alarm. Okay, we're go. We're go. Straight time. We're go. Altitude 1600.
I believe we can send humans to orbit Mars and return them safely to Earth.
35 degrees, 750, coming down to 20.
Hello, and welcome to NASA's EdLine News, your weekly update featuring events and activities from NASA Education. I'm Kurt Hogan, and we'll be here every week updating you on all of the weekly activities and events offered through NASA Education. NASA made its presence known in the nation's capital this week for this year's Earth Day celebration. This year marks the 40th anniversary of our planetary recognition, and NASA had an agency-wide presence for the festivities. Consisting of 3 giant tents, NASA Village, as it was referred to, was set up on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. from April 17th to the 25th. Inside the canopies were exhibits highlighting all of NASA's incredible, groundbreaking Earth science research. Visitors from all ages were on hand, learning more about our planet and beyond. They got up close and personal with NASA scientists and researchers, attending lectures and hands-on visitor stations, giving folks a real, complete immersion into the exciting world of NASA. NASA's agency-wide participation was organized and coordinated by Goddard Space Flight Center. Many other organizations and agencies were also represented for the event that drew tens of thousands of visitors from around the world. Does teaching about clouds make you feel overcast? Well, if it does, NASA's lifting the cloud of confusion for teachers all over the country. A free online course and workshop held by NASA Educator Resource Center will be offered to teachers nationwide. The webinar is called Clear Skies Ahead, Clearing Up the Confusion About Clouds. Dr. Tina Cartwright of Marshall University will cover scientific concepts, and Ted Ensign, West Virginia ERC coordinator, will explain ways your students can report cloud observations through NASA's school or GLOBE programs. The course will be available Saturday, April 17th from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the DLN, which of course is the Digital Learning Network. Just go ahead and select the DLN Info Channel link. The series will be streamed in Windows Media and Flash. So you want to be a rocket scientist? Well, on June 23rd at the Stennis Space Center in Mississippi, students from around the country are coming for a week-long summer workshop to learn the basic principles of forces and Newton's law of motion through rocketry. Students will also study model rocketry and build and launch their own simple rockets. 34 middle school, high school, and college teams nationwide will be on hand. All students will be evaluated for hardware integrity, safety, and that's of course before launch day. Launches are free and open to the public for viewing. And finally this summer, NASA is taking the lead in getting young people all across the nation excited about STEM education. It's called Summer of Innovation, and NASA Administrator Charles Bolden, who just happens to be a veteran of 4 shuttle missions himself, is taking a hands-on approach.
It's orbiting Earth. That's the International Space Station. As long as it goes 17,500 miles an hour, it stays in orbit because the centrifugal force...
NASA has launched this initiative to use its space and technology programs to boost summer learning, particularly for underserved students across the nation. The Summer of Innovation supports President Obama's Educate to Innovate campaign for excellence. NASA will work with thousands of middle school teachers and students during multi-week programs in the summer of 2010 to engage students in stimulating math and science-based education. NASA's goal is to increase the number of future scientists, mathematicians, and engineers using its vast assets of its own scientists and engineers.
It gives these kids an opportunity to see something that they can only imagine, or sometimes they can't even imagine because they've never been exposed to it. And that's why I think it's absolutely fantastic. We've had a number of schools in which NASA engineers and scientists have gone out into the community and have really turned the school around, have made a dramatic difference in the performance of the students and in the ability of the teachers to teach, because it helps the teachers to become very comfortable with the concepts of math, science, physics, engineering, and that's what it's all about.
3, 2, 1.
Now, that is a program that all of us here in NASA Education are particularly thrilled to be a part of. Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check back often for the very latest in what's happening in NASA Education. For all of us here at EdLine News, I'm Kurt Hogan. Stay tuned following the broadcast for a very exciting and educational webinar. Until next time, we'll see you later.
It is time to take long strides.
Before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. 1201, rocket 1201 alarm. Okay, we're go. We're go. Straight time. We're go. Altitude 1600.
I believe we can send humans to orbit, Mars, and return them safely to Earth.
35 degrees, 750.